Good morning and welcome to Table Talk. We're here from BG's Cafe in downtown Oxnard. I'm here with my guest Lucy. She's here to talk about Families First. Now Lucy, what is Families First?
That is a parent workshop. It's a 6-week program that teaches parents how to change their behavior. So it's more or less started from the teacher's expectations, support achievement, and we do the PESA out of LA Unified School District. So the way it works, it's a 6-week program. It's 2 hours once a week, and it teaches you different type of curriculum on how to work with your children, how you want to change their behavior pattern, how you're trying to change your behavior pattern, and it supports academic achievement. And that's what we do.
Now, how would someone get involved like that, or do you contact students, parents that are struggling, or how did all this come about?
It came about because I realized that the city of Oxnard was implementing a program on parent workshops, which they do a really great job. I wanted something so much more community-based wide, where we can touch the parents at their home site. Because even if we touch 30 to 40 parents per year, it's not enough to dent our city, our community of 80,000 people. So I reached out to the LA Unified School District and asked them if they would retrain me and get the curriculum back based so that I could come to my community and implement these workshops here. So the LA Unified School District was so generous. They recertified me, retrained me, gave me all the information, the packet, and I told them what I was trying to do for my community, and they just gave it to me for free, which is awesome. And now I get to use it here in my city of Oxnard. So I am trying to help out the police department and help out our schools, because the way the PESA works is that it brings up grades in our children, but also changes the home structure.
Now, have you already started a few cycles of this program yet?
Yes, that's a great thing. I am working with Pacifica Point with Project Access on Gonzales, which has 235 units, and with Cabrillo Economic Development, which has all over Ventura County, and also with Via Paseo Nuevos, and they have about 200 parents there. And then I will take it on from there and there and there.
Now, of the people that have gone through the program, what improvements have they reported back?
The great thing about PESA, because it's a national accredited curriculum, it has been reported a 99% rate. It does work.
Now, have you worked with the school district yet to implement this, or are you just working with these housing projects?
Just the housing projects right now, because I am the sole facilitator at this moment. I'm hoping to have Spanish facilitator, and my goal is to reach the Hispanic low income and the Black community here in the city of Oxnard, because they have such a high jail, probation, prison rate. I'm hoping to implement structure in that and make a dent in my city.
Now, as far as doing this program, financially, have these communities said, look, we can subsidize so much, or we can afford at least materials, or how has that come about, the financial part of it so far?
Unfortunately, there is no financial part. That's why I need you to come and help me implement this. I've been fortunate that Via Paseo Nuevo has some sort of budget. Project Access has some sort of budget that they can turn around and at least provide refreshments. I'm running solo right here. I'm hoping that City Corp, City of Oxnard, different other organizations, you as a viewer would like to help me with Families First to get this going. And I have awesome friends like you that are here to help me.
Now, with the Family First program, when you're doing this and reporting the numbers and saying, okay, so many people have completed it, federally, after a certain point, will they say, okay, we'll give you a grant, or you can apply for a grant, or anything like that? Has any of those opportunities come about yet?
Not yet, because it hasn't went the full year, so I would have to at least get a year's data and hope that that way maybe the city can see it, or the city can own it, so that it could be implemented city by city, county by county. And I haven't got any data, but the projects I'm working on now, and I'm hoping to collect more because it's all about the numbers. I mean, I can turn around and show cities that have already implemented that it does work, communities that have, but that's not our community and that's not our city. So until we do ours, will the funding come? So that's why right now we're working on Families First to be able to be done sponsor-wise. That way, the sponsorship will pay so a low-income parent can have the opportunity to take advantage of the Families First project and be able to take advantage of the changing of behavioral, changing of curriculum, changing of community-wide.
Now, what would it take financially to sponsor a family or parents into this program?
It would take about $1,000 to sponsor a parent to take the 6-week workshop, and it would take about $1,500 to sponsor a parent with childcare. That way they could take full advantage of the opportunity.
Now, in that $1,000, what is included in it?
That includes the whole 6-week curriculum. That includes the paperwork, the parent actual workshop curriculum that they can take home and keep, that they can re-look at it, re-evaluate it, re-reflect on it. That way they keep that same strength going, because the idea of it is to change behavior and keep it change, not to turn back the clock.
Now, does it include any kind of aftercare? So after the 6 weeks, maybe, on the 12th week, on the 24th week, you call, you follow up, or someone would call and follow up, some kind of social services to make sure that the implementation is still running?
I'm so glad you asked me that, because what it does include is those that graduate the Families First will now be able to take on parent workshops as community leaders. So the city of Oxnard will be offering these awesome parent empowerment leaders looking for community leaders, and the people that qualify get to go on and take these awesome workshops and take over their city. That's our goal.
Now, the groups in LA that were doing the training and doing this, have they offered to come up and help certify more people, or that you can send down more people to be certified, given you're the only one to help kind of diverse, or what's kind of the plan there?
They did come. They actually are waiting for my 6 months to come and recertify one more person for free. LA Unified is looking at this as a pilot program. It's never been implemented citywide. They normally do it just at schools. So this is a pilot pretty much for the nation.
So in doing that, what responsibilities have you taken on other than obviously, implementing the materials? I mean, you're doing it all yourself. So what responsibilities now have you taken?
I have taken on the responsibility of now trying to achieve a 501(c) and being its sole facilitator at this moment, and also the responsibility of making a strategic committee. So it has been a huge responsibility because I have to fundraise solo with the group, and it is a very huge responsibility, and still keep employment because I like to pay my rent.
Yeah, that's usually a good thing. Rent's usually a good thing. Now, you work full-time and you're with other groups as well, like Cause and other things. How does this play into those other community groups?
That's an awesome question, because it actually does. Unfortunately, we play into everything. Everybody's a parent, everybody has children in school, everybody is part of this community. So it actually is integrated in everything we do. We can't change everything in our city, but if we can change a couple parents, a couple behaviors, grow leaders, it changes our community. We believe in Families First. We can change our community one parent at a time.
Now, what challenges have you come up with the Hispanic community in the sense of the ones that have come over, people that have migrated from another country over here, and those children are sort of stuck between two worlds. What has been the biggest challenge with those families?
I think the biggest challenge with them has to be the changing of your generation, the way you grew up, especially those that are first generation here in Oxnard. They still have the Mexico status. So like, I don't have the challenge of like my cop, because my cop is offering this through behavioral health. But like our first generation Hispanic, we have the problem of them Americanizing. I don't know if that's a word, but Americanizing to different cultures, different laws, different systems. It's hard for education, especially because parents don't navigate our school districts. So it's my job first to teach them how to navigate the school system, and then to try to retrain them from parental skills that have been generation in generation in, like, say, Mexico. So that's the problems that I've had to deal with.
Now, what about the challenges you find in this program with single-parent families?
That is a huge, huge undertaking, only because these may be 4, 5, 6 generation single mothers here, or single fathers. We're finding that a lot now too, that they have different type of family value structures, or we have a lot, it's hard to say, and it's sad to say, but we have a lot of drug abuse in our generational families. So it's type of, if you look at it like a bullet, you start with the child and then you go on from the child to the parent, to the grandparents, to the uncles, the aunts, the cousins, and you have to cut in that bullet to raise up that child, to raise up that parent, and try to span that bullet. That's a huge challenge.
Now, when let's say you work with a single-parent family, and then the other parent is somewhat involved, do you encourage both parents, or how would you work it being, you work with the mom, you work with the child, they're successful, dad's sort of in the picture, how would you work that scenario?
I'm hoping that does happen, because that would be awesome if a dad turned around and seen that his ex-girlfriend, ex-wife has changed. So that means it's only better for their child that he wants to find out more, and he could come and take the workshop, or he can just be a part of that family. That's what we're hoping.
Now, you've seen a lot of people that, they've come back, or the father or the mother have never really left, but they, for whatever their reasons, can't be there full time. What impact has that had on some of the people who have gone through the program with the part-time parent?
We offer it to the grandparents too. So we offer it to anybody that takes care of that child. So anybody can take the program. It doesn't have to necessarily be the mother or the father. It's offered to whoever takes care of that child.
Okay, with that, we'll be back right after this quick commercial break. And if you would like more information on this show or any other show, you can email me directly at tabletalk805@gmail.com, Facebook/tabletalk805, or Twitter at tabletalk805. Be right back. And welcome back. We're here with Lucy, talking about Family First here at BG's Cafe in downtown Oxnard. Now, this sounds like a great program. How many of our groups that we have, our nonprofits like Cause, Future Leaders, El Centricho, how many of those have jumped on board to assist with this program?
Unfortunately, none, which is really sad, because I've been working with so many organizations for so long, and this is something that would totally help dent our city. So none yet. So you guys are welcome to jump on board. Let's all do this. That's the goal. So that's what I'm hoping on.
Now, as far as the blueprints and the long-term plan, has that already been written out? Is the benchmarks for success, has all of that kind of already been put together, or is that something you're still working on?
That's something I'm still working on with my strategic committee, so we can benchmark what we want to see by next year, regardless, even though LA Unified is looking at it also. but we want to see if we can grow, if we can implement with the city, how we're growing and what we want to look at for our future. And hopefully it's a more collaborative effort, because I'd like it not to just be a families first type thingy. I like it to be a City of Oxnard implementation.
Now, with doing things like that, having gone and said, hey, come help me out, at what point do you kind of say, you know what, I'm just going to do this myself? You know what, thanks, but no thanks, I've got this. Or you're not at that point yet?
I was there about 2 years ago, going on 3 now. I was there when we first started this blueprint in the City of Oxnard, the Oxnard Alliance. And I had reached out, I read it, and I thought, well, when are they implementing this? When is the parent workshops going to be implemented? Bigger, wider, only because I knew I had did these PESA workshops at Channel Islands High School about a decade ago. So I knew it worked, and I knew when the city was offering it, and I knew the schools were offering it, but the city wanted to do it bigger, wider, I knew it would work. So I was waiting, and well, here I am, doing it alone.
Sometimes it's the best. You don't have the baggage.
Yeah.
Now, in doing this program, what age group are you focused on right now? The younger kids or the older kids?
There is none, because I'm focusing on the parents. Parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, whoever is taking care of that child. There is no age group. You can be 76, you can be a 16-year-old mother. We do not have a focus or age group. We just need parents that want to raise up great grades in their children and see the need for help. We're here to help.
Now, how can they reach you if they want to join this program? Is there a Facebook page? Is there a website? How would they say, hey, that's for me, I need to get in that program, I need to do that? Or let me get more information. Where would they go?
Like us on Facebook. We're on Facebook, Families First, or you can go to familiesfirst.com, or you can just find us, you can email me at lucycartagena@yahoo.com, or you can just go to any of the workshops that are already being implemented around the city. And it's probably more than likely going to be at a community near you, because you'll be able to find the flyers at Community Action, Catholic Charities, any of the resources you normally go to. Look for us. You'll see our brochure.
Now, as far as your 501c, have you achieved that yet? Are you working on it, or how's that going?
I am working on that with these great organizers and leaders here from the City of Oxnard that have different organizations that they've helped facilitate, and now they're helping me facilitate. So I will be trying to get my 501c, but now I am raising the money to get that so that I can implement that and be able to reach out for more funding and hopefully sponsorships to be able to facilitate these workshops.
Now, how far in the future do you anticipate the 501c? Because a lot of people like to wait until you're a nonprofit to be able to donate for tax purposes and write-offs and things like that. So when are you hoping to have that accomplished?
If anybody knows me, they know I don't like to wait, and they know I'll do it. So I give it 2 weeks. That's me.
2 more weeks before, and then we will have that information for you where you could donate, her tax ID number for your tax purposes and things like that. Now, have you started posting pictures of your graduates or some of the success stories on your Facebook page?
Not yet. I like to post up the actual grades of the children. So if you go to the Families First Facebook, you'll see grades of children up there, and you'll see the difference between one workshop to the last workshop. So that's what I like to see. When we see those A's and B's, we know we're working.
Now, have any of the families that have graduated come back and said, you know what, I need a couple more classes or a little refresher? Is that part of the package as well? So maybe 6 months down the road, they say, you know what, I need a little refresher. Do you offer that? Or will you offer it?
If they need it, but luckily nobody ever comes back because we change behavioral pattern. So they don't need to, and they take that parent handbook home. So if they ever need to reflect, they could probably look back at their curriculum, kind of like refresher course. That's why they get to take it home, so that they would not need to ever have to come back. They would grow within themselves. So they would not need it. And the beauty of the Families First project is it's so small that the workshops are just for 10 to 12 people. We do not take in a lot of people. And part of that goal is the way it works. It's kind of like a triangle program with a child in the middle. It's got the home on top, the school on the side, and then the community here. So the parents are required to reach out to those 12 parents that they take this program with. So you not only are working towards your child in your home and your school and the community, you found a new friend, a new neighbor. So you have that now established momentum where if you're slipping, that's what friends are for, to pick you back up. So to come back to us to require it, never happens. That's a great thing.
Oh, that's a good thing. That's what neighbors are for, most of the time. Except my neighbors. That's
And
a whole nother show altogether with my neighbors. Now, in doing something like that for the community, a lot of people have come through and they've implemented a program. Boys and girls have tried several different things. PALs implemented programs and then they didn't work, they worked. What makes this different than some of the other ones that have tried to do something?
That's an awesome question because it's not a money issue. That's the beauty of it. PAL has implemented or tried to implement this type of program. They can't because it's business. PAL is a business. All these other programs are businesses. To implement something for our community, and especially PAL because it's called Police Activities League, for a parent, they don't feel comfortable having the police try to change your behavioral. So that's one of the blockages that they get. That's why I take it to the community. So that way it's a community leader helping a community. I am not telling them what they need to do. I am not telling them their child has behavioral problems. I'm not telling them if their child is a gang member. That is not my job. So that's what makes it more easier because I'm not trying to scold them. I'm trying to help them as my community, to elevate my community. That's the big difference.
Now, how do you help the parents? I see this a lot with the schools. You have parents that want to help their kids. They're not from here, they don't speak the language, and they don't know how to help them. I mean, they have the energy, they're willing to put in the time, but they don't have the know-how. What do you tell those families?
Well, that's the beauty of the PESA program because the way it works, it is for parent expectations. It's a curriculum. So the beauty of it is we teach the parents how to navigate a school system. So if they don't know how to navigate the school system, they're never going to be able to help their child because they don't understand the school system. So first you need to know what it is their child is struggling with, and you need to know what it is their child needs. And that way you can turn around and speak to the teachers, speak to the administration. So first you got to learn to navigate the system before you can either advocate for their child.
Now that as many of you know, Oxnard Elementary has rolled out iPads for all the students. And the purpose of it is to allow the children that don't have access to resources to do research on the internet, access to books, and this is a low-cost way for the school to do it. It's cheaper just to upload the dictionary, upload these things. We're saving paper and makes it easier for the school district instead of having to buy 17,000 copies of one book. Hey, upload 17,000 copies of the book. Have you figured a way to utilize that iPad now into the program, or still kind of in the let's figure it out phase?
Still kind of the let's figure it out phase. If we could do that, that's the great thing about the Families First. It's not mine. It belonged to LA Unified. So it's still not mine. I am only the facilitator. That's what the strategic committee is for, to figure out how they want to implement it. The bottom line is it will belong to the city of Oxnard so they can own it, so they can implement it, so it can grow within our city.
Now, this program, I know Parks and Recs does a lot of programs. They do the after-school program, they do a lot of programs like that. Are you working with, partnering with them maybe to help get that done and use some of their resources? Or are we still in the, let me make some phone call stage?
I have been talking to Parks and Rec, specifically City Corps, only because that fits under the structure of families and children. So I have been talking to them, hoping that we can collaborate. The whole thing about the Families First is collaboration, 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 because nothing's going to happen unless we collaborate as a community.
Now, you have kids and your kids are now older. Had this program been available when your kids were smaller, do you think it made a difference, or because of your determination, or for parents now with older kids that may be helping with grandkids now, what would you recommend for them?
I would recommend that I'm hoping every parent is out trying, always says, if there's something available, maybe I need it, maybe I don't. Maybe there's something there that you could implement, or maybe there's something there that you're just curious. I'm hoping it's free to you, so you get to have the opportunity, because as parents, we don't come with the book. So we always want to know if there's something else we can implement. Is there something else we can help out with? We don't stop once our child comes out, so we always are growing with our children.
Now, what about the kids that want to do this program, but they don't have the home support? There's no one at home. Mom's working 2 jobs, dad may not be around, grandma helps where she can, but, would you take just the child, or it has to be the parent too?
This is a parent workshop. So we don't do children. That's what the Oxnard City Corps is for. So that's why it's so important to collaborate, so that if we're working with the parent, hopefully City Corps is working with the child. That way, if there is behavioral type issues that are going on, or things that it's hard that the child needs to lash out to, the great thing about the parent workshop, it is community based, so the resources are available there for a child. And as always, we will be working with like Interface, City Impact, City Corps. It's so important to implement everything at once.
Okay, well, if you would like more information on Families First, feel free to check out Community Action. You'll go to the Wilson Center or any community center where you can find flyers that will have information on available and upcoming workshops. If you would like to sponsor her program of Family First, feel free to contact Lucy. You can email her, or you can do it Facebook, Families First at Facebook. You can also email me directly at tabletalk805@gmail.com, or check out my Facebook page at tabletalk805, or Twitter at tabletalk805, and we will gladly get you connected with Families First. And again, this is for anyone in our community who wants more information, who needs more help, or just needs a place to start. And we will see you next week here from BG's Cafe.